Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is now 7:07. You are listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. It is Monday the 15th. Hope y'all doing well today. Hope everything is working out for you. You should be up. You better be up. You know what I'm saying? We'll sleep when we're dead. We're the second largest city's first daily news podcast, coming to you live from beautiful downtown Aurora, the beating heart of the city, y'all. We are in it. Got a lot of news to talk about today and got a great interview for you. A wonderful, top-notch interview. You are going to like this, I'm telling you. So stay tuned for that. That'll be debuting at 10 o'clock a.m. All right, let's get into it. Virtual Rock and Rumble, the next and final one, starts today at 10:30 a.m. A fun music and movement program for all ages. This is brought to us by the Aurora Public Library. Registration is required for that. Shouts out to the library. Please take part in that. Easter initiatives. Got some good Easter stuff happening. An Easter breakfast and indoor egg hunt will be held from 9 a.m. to noon Saturday, March 20th at the Whitetail Ridge Golf Course, Clubhouse Drive in Yorkville. In addition to a buffet breakfast, games, bunny photos, a donut wall, and an egg hunt by age groups are also planned. Bella Bunny and princesses from Disney will greet kids. Bike Bald Group is the sponsor. Shouts out to Bike Bald. You can visit their website at www.bikebald.com. Aurora Advent Christian Church, 905 North Edgelawn Drive, will hold an annual Easter egg scramble for children through 5th grade at 11 a.m. Saturday the 27th on the church's north lawn. Pre-hunt indoor activities are suspended due to the pandemic. Participants are asked to wear masks. Aurora Noon Lions Club will hold its annual Easter Bunny Pancake Breakfast from 7:30 to 11 a.m. Saturday, April 3rd at Luigi's Pizza and Fun Center. The proceeds will benefit Marie Wilkinson Food Pantry and the Aurora Interfaith Food Pantry, both in Aurora. Dine in only with masks and social distancing required. The menu includes all-you-can-eat pancakes, sausages, mini donuts, and milk, juice, or coffee. Tickets are $6 for kids. Oh, what up? Tickets are $6 for adults, and $4 for children from age 4. Tickets available at the door or from a Noon Lion. Shouts out. Village of Montgomery and Community Christian Church will hold a spring egg hunt for kids ages 1 through 10 on Sunday, April 4th. All right. Now, that's from 1 to 3 p.m. at Montgomery Park, which is 301 North River Street. Games, crafts, and refreshments are planned. New England Congregational Church's annual egg hunt for children ages 1 through 10 will be held Saturday, April 10th from 10 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. Advanced registration is required. Masks will be required for persons age 2 and up. Shouts out to all of the great organizations who got something going on for Easter, y'all. All right. Don't forget to go back and tune into Jeanette's Splaining on Friday. We had a great episode. It was a whole lot of fun. So go ahead and check that out. Tell us what you think and get to know us and who we are. All right. The Masters revealed Friday, April 2nd, which is going to be the first Friday because first Fridays are back now, y'all. From 5 to 8:30 p.m. at Gallery 19041 East Benson Street in downtown Aurora, the old Aurora Public Library, where we shot a good number of episodes. The featured artists are Mary Ellen Newton, Joe Gagnapane, Soterios Gardiakos, Chaz Neponsky, Patty Fine, Vander Sandy, Betty Kolar, John Cornelison, Josue Paez, and Maureen Gassick. Shouts out to all those great artists, and shouts out to Viso Arts for all that they do for our artistic community. Mid-East Conflict's Wall of Honor car show is coming Sunday, May 23rd. Park and ride at Orchard and Mill in Oswego. Registration is $15. Cars, motorcycles, food, music, and a flag ceremony. Registration on that day will be from 8 to 10 a.m. 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. is the show. And at noon, there's a flag ceremony. The flag ceremony is provided by the Oswego Fire Department. Food is provided by the Oswego American Legion and JB Mobile Munchies. Sponsored by AutoSmart. Entertainment provided by Carousel Sound Company. Very cool. Shouts out to the city of Oswego. Did y'all hear that big city truck? All right. Rotary Club, Diversity and Inclusion Scholarship. West Aurora and East Aurora High School seniors are eligible for a $1,000 scholarship. The application is available at www.rotaryaurora.org and due by April 15th of 2021. Shouts out to the Aurora Rotary Club for all of the good work that they continue to do. All right, that's the news today. We're going to get it popping for you guys for another great episode. If you're not already, and I don't know why you would not be sure to subscribe to the show on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Breaker, on any of your preferred podcast platforms. Get to know who we are. Also, check out all of our episodes and interviews on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe to the show on YouTube. All the news that's fit to speak on, Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m. And that is the news. So, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. Good to see you. Good to see you.
You too.
So, for our listeners and our viewers, let us know who you ladies are and what you represent. We'll start with you.
Thank you. My name is Kacie Chitwood, and I represent the Alive Center, which is a teen center, and my role is community engagement and development, also known as fundraising.
All right.
Well, good morning, everybody, and my name is Rubio, and I am the drop-in supervisor for the Alive Center that has just moved here downtown Aurora at 78 South LaSalle Street.
All right. And for those who are interested, 78 South LaSalle Street is on historic Auto Row, as it has been known. Yeah. Those dealerships used to be car showrooms while they had that big open floor plan in them, which is very cool.
I've seen the signs, but that's very cool to know the background.
The old pictures of Aurora look very nice with that street.
Yeah.
So you ladies are here with the Alive Teen Center, and so tell us about that. How did it start, and what's its roots?
We were founded in actually 2015.
Okay.
Our founder, whose name is Candace Henning, really felt called to open up some kind of a center that would allow and provide youth an opportunity to tap into their own unique gifts and passions. And 5 years now, we celebrated our 5th anniversary in May of last year, so we're just coming up on 6 almost.
Congrats.
And thank you.
Thank you.
We serve teens after school, and we have been doing that in free programming since that time. In 2015, we have a space for kids to come in. It's a safe, inclusive space. And in 2018, we opened up a location at the Eola Library.
Oh, okay.
Which I was in charge of
Yes,
as well.
yes. And then in March of last year, no surprise, the library closed, and so did our facility there. And our goal and discussions have been leading us toward attempting a location more in the downtown area.
Okay.
Discussed with the city and the park district over the last 3 years the possibility of finding a more central location to serve more teens and youth in Aurora. And as of January 6th of this year, we began to provide tours, as well as February 1. Addie started serving teens right here in Aurora. So.
Very good. Very cool. Now, there is a location that's in Naperville as well. That's the same one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, this is our satellite in Aurora.
Okay, I asked that because I think I was trying to post something to our Facebook page and shout y'all out, and I might have got I saw like multiple, so I was like, oh.
Yes.
Definitely 2 pages.
Yeah, okay. Very cool.
Alive at Community is the Aurora Facebook page.
All right, Alive at Community. Now, Addie, where are you from? Where were you born and raised?
Born and raised here, so I'm Aurora, born and raised.
Okay.
I've lived here my whole life. My whole family lives here. My parents immigrated here from Mexico, and they came right to Aurora. So they're from a town in Michoacan called Araro, and I think it's so curious how they came to Aurora. It's very similar in name.
Yeah.
But my uncle is in Elgin. My whole family is really here. I have my grandparents in Mexico, but this is my hometown. I went to school here, elementary, middle, high school, and college. So I graduated from AU here. Yeah, this is my home.
And Kacie, where are you from? Where are you born and raised?
Originally born in a suburb of Minneapolis.
Okay.
Called Chaska.
Chaska.
Mm-hmm.
Are there
river
any
town, actually, kind of like Aurora.
Are there any? So it's a river town. All right. Any other similarities between Chaska and Aurora?
You know, I would not in size. Aurora is much bigger and probably much more rich in its history. Chaska is a little smaller, more of a farming community, but definitely, on the river, which it reminds me of.
Okay. So we're going to get into some specific activities and programs with the Teen Center. We're going to also talk about what's to come, what you guys have going on, and any future calendar updates. But for our listeners, we're going to get to know you ladies as well. So, Addie, we'll start with you. Growing up, what impact did your dad have in your life?
Oh, that's such a cool question. And I feel like I am getting a little, like I just had a question. My dad, he was everything to us. He's no longer with us here. So he passed in 2016. So my dad growing up was just the most important person in our lives, really held us up and just worked for the whole family. And he always would tell me, échale ganas, which means keep trying and don't give up in Spanish, échale ganas. And ponte las pilas también, which means put your batteries in, which means to get charged up and keep going.
I like that.
So my dad is very important to us, and thank you for asking me that question, because you're making me think of him right now, and I feel like he's with me and supporting me with all that I'm doing here downtown Aurora for our youth with the Life Center, through the Life Center, and so, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Kacie, same question to you. What impact did your dad have in your life growing up?
My dad was a social studies teacher and loved working with youth. He was also a fisherman. He was a big believer in balance. He's still with us. I spoke to him 5 minutes ago, actually, as I was driving here this morning. He and my mom have been married now for 55 years. And I think what the greatest lesson my dad taught me, he believed strongly in the 5 fingers of life, which was just about balance, that you needed personal, financial, social, spiritual, and professional strengths, and you needed to be sure that nothing ever became too far out of whack. Otherwise, things could get, more complicated. So he was a big believer in balance, and I think that was probably one of the many beautiful lessons, of course, that he taught me. But that's probably the one that comes to mind.
And you ladies' experience with the teens that you work with and with the programs that you have offer, what is, in your opinion, what's the impact of a strong family structure on a kid, on a person?
Yeah, that's so important for a child and a kid's overall health, is, having parents that are there for them and supportive and loving towards them, a family that's going to show up when you need them. I think that's really important as a kid growing up. Yeah.
I agree. Absolutely. And I think we all know that when a parent is not as present in a child's life, it definitely affects them, throughout their life in many different ways.
Right. So, Kacie, a little bit more about you, ladies.
Sure.
What's your educational background?
My undergrad is actually Spanish,
all right.
And my master's is in organizational management.
Okay.
After having children and spending some time volunteering in the PTA lane for a while,
PTA.
and serving in our community. I actually live in Naperville. I went back to work in the Catholic schools at All Saints Academy for a few years as a religion teacher, as a catechist, and shortly after that became an employee at the Life Center. My former education and my background brought me into sales for the most part. Spanish to sales and technology was an interesting path. It was in the early 90s.
But yeah, I was trying to do in my head,
I tend
you gotta have a pivot, right?
I tend
That's
to
cool.
be a bird in the hand kind of person. I believe pretty strongly that what's there is there because it's the next step for me, and that has managed to serve me pretty well.
And Addie, yourself? Yeah.
I got my undergrad in psychology from Aurora University in 2016. And I went into psych because my parents and friends would tell me, oh, Addie, you always give really good advice and whatnot. And so they were like, you probably should go into like a helping profession.
Yeah.
And I felt like that kind of resonates with me. And so I went in and I did that. And then I graduated. There was a break. And then I went back to get my master's in social work because later into my years in university, I realized that I wanted to be social work, but I was really far into my undergrad and I couldn't switch because of my scholarship. And so I did that later on, and I really think that that was given to me kind of from blessings from my dad, because he passed in, again, right when I graduated a couple months later, and there was an opportunity to go into grad school as a graduate assistant for the Latino studies at Aurora University, with Dr. Serrano from our AU. And she told me the position is open, please apply for it, and I did, and I got it, and so I was able to go into my master's program and graduated from that in 2018. And
well done.
Thank you so much, yeah. And so then I went into get my license, so I have my LSW, and then I went into providing counseling for youth. So I was a counselor with Taking Control in North Aurora, and that was awesome. I loved it. And then I got hired on at at Alive in 2019.
Awesome. Kacie, what does America mean to you?
That's a big question. I think America is a place where everyone should be given. I think the message of America has traditionally been everyone should be given an opportunity to really realize their potential.
Right.
I think we all know that there are roadblocks in many, situations for a lot of folks. It's not a straight path, right? But I still believe in the dream and the possibility that each of us has a path that can be really effectively ensure that we realize our true potential. But
right.
it takes a lot of important people along the way. I think we all know if you have just one mentor or role model as a young person, the statistics show that, your ability to really take your life forward and to realize what your strengths are is so much easier than if you don't have those around you. And back to your question, right, about family and the importance of having that solid foundation. I think in the work that we do, we see that if kids are really given a chance to think about what they intrinsically are passionate about, and kind of like your story, right? Mm-hmm. It can make such a big difference. A lot of it is the messages that we get from our family and our friends, and the pathway that gets lit in front of us, right? But it's there for all of us.
And Addie, same question to you. What does America mean to you? Yeah, it was good. That was good.
That's a big question.
For me, it means home. That's what America means to me. It means home. I mean, this is my my homeland, and I am a proud Mexican American, and it means to me diversity, opportunity. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Right. So now, sticking with the youth, okay, and we find ourselves in the time of a pandemic. We know how learning has shifted. I spoke with a great lady, with a teacher the other day, and thank goodness that the infrastructure was there for the virtual experience for kids when the school shut down.
True.
You ladies at the Alive Center have been doing things virtually now for a while. Talk about that a little bit, and talk about how it's been going from the pre-COVID world to now.
I'll let you take that.
No, that's okay. That happened. I think, isn't it the date of when we went into shutdown?
Yeah, on the live news this morning, which I like to promote. Tune into the live. Yes, that's right. It's been a year.
It's been a year. Yeah. So we pivoted very quickly to virtual, and were able to adapt to be able to serve the youth that go to Alive. And so what we did is we did virtual drop-ins, so teens were able to jump on Zoom and have an hour of fun after their e-learning. And then we've been offering some clubs as well virtually with, for example, the Excel Club, which is teen-led, and they jump on and have the programming and curriculum, and they share it with other teens. We also had, I'm thinking of, a 203 summer school camp that we did virtually as well last year.
District 203, right?
District 203. And we offered that for the youth to just be able to have some fun. We played Jackbox games. We had scavenger hunts. We just really wanted to be there for the youth that we serve, and we knew virtually was the way to get connected again during that time. So.
Right. And here's another question I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Got to have your perspective. What in regards to the? I thought that was off. I'm sorry. What in regards to services of any kind does Aurora need for youth that we do not have already?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It seems that in the short time that we've been really making connections, and this, part of the pandemic, of course, made it difficult sometimes to get out and venture into new relationships like it would have been normally. So we're making up for some lost time, right? But I recognize that, one, it seems that there is a need for a space that supports middle school and younger high school kids. It seems often that I hear that elementary school kids have a lot more opportunities, or perhaps a family would have, one child eligible for a scholarship to attend a program, but maybe 2 or 3 other children in the family wouldn't necessarily be able to receive that same benefit.
Right.
So, certainly financial situations can be big roadblocks in terms of accessing programming and giving kids outlets. But I think we've probably found ourselves hearing that message quite a bit in some of the folks we've met and we're networking with, and trying to spread the word about our services being available, and they're free, by the way, here in Aurora. But I also think I've heard the word transportation come up quite a bit. Just really having the ability to get kids from one place to another seems to be an issue that Aurora is facing as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty kind of more of a logistics answer, I guess, but it does seem to come up very frequently when we talk to others about some of the challenges that they're facing in providing kids more access to programs that can give them, a better future pathway.
And it's funny that you mentioned that, because I am thinking now. You're right. When the discussion turns to services for youth, I think a lot of people think, okay, well, we need to have like a daycare kind of service for those really young kids, and then we'll build like a basketball court for the high schoolers so they can play.
Yeah.
But what about the middle school kids? Right, you're right. What do they need to do?
And that's such a vulnerable time in your life. And do you know anyone who would go back to middle school voluntarily? I don't.
Right.
It's just tough.
Yeah, and we serve 6th through 12th grade, so that wide range, the reasoning for that is because we strive to be teen-led, teen-driven. We are teen-led, teen-driven, and the teens that are in high school are usually the ones leading programming or clubs. There is that middle schooler that sometimes will be like, I want to start a club, and so that does happen, but it's mostly the high school older teens who will be leading clubs for youth, the younger ones, so middle school.
Yeah.
So that peer-to-peer model is pretty powerful, and I want to say, Kacie, how you've mentioned as well that it's the only one in the nation.
That we're aware of that serves both high school and junior high in the same model in the way that we do. And that peer-to-peer piece is really empowering for obviously both of the kids involved.
One of the things about the experience of education too for youngsters is that, a lot of times the really young kids, so ages are 6th to 12th grade, the really young kids are like intimidated, or perhaps not thinking that the older kids are going to find them cool. And if you're an older kid, you're like, I'm not trying to hang with, 8th graders, right? Do you guys see any of that at the center?
That's a good question. It can sometimes it can happen. It depends on the teen, But what I do notice is we have also another program called the mentoring program. So we have the older teens that we see that potential of them being able to be a mentor for a younger person sign up, and they go through an application, they sign up to be a mentor, and then we have mentees also sign up. And we usually kind of talk to the parents, be like, we think that your teen could really benefit from our mentorship program, and we can pair them up with a high school mentor. And so that happening really helps kind of diffuse that. Yeah.
I think the older kids find that it's surprisingly much more fulfilling for them than they maybe walked into experience, thinking they would experience. For many reasons. Maybe it's just to see that they have a lot more to be grateful for than, they realized, or perhaps that that leadership role can be very, very empowering too, right? Knowing that you are responsible and that it is you that child is going to be, relying upon to guide them, or, that puts you in a position where you're going to see it from a different perspective. We all know mentoring is really effective, right?
Right. And I have a question for both of you ladies on mentoring on my list, which we will get to in this episode.
Cool.
I'd like to know as well, what do you ladies think were changes that need to be made or could be made? And again, this is not like trying to give lessons to like lawmakers and legislators about what they need to change. The education is kind of like a snowball. It's always got some moving parts to it. But I want to know what you ladies think about the current or pre-pandemic school experience, the high school experience, the middle school experience. Was there anything that you thought perhaps was outdated, could have stood to be revitalized and looked at in a different way, or what was there? You ladies aren't in schools, you weren't in schools. I understand that, but just I think you got a good vision about what could have been.
I'd love for you to take that first, unless you don't have something on your mind.
I'm thinking about pressure for some reason.
Yeah, me too.
So that came to mind right away. So that pressure to get straight A's, and not fail. And I'm sure that teachers, I'm very sure that teachers most are saying, it's okay to fail. You don't expect to be really great at something the first time you try and all of that. But maybe there's a culture of immense pressure for our youth, and maybe more of a message that it's all right to, C's are okay. I mean, that's not a bad thing. No. And it can be really intense to say that for some teens, be like, you're trying, and especially if they're trying.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think also there are not enough places or opportunities for kids to have, and I like to call it white space to some extent. I think we all are potentially have the ability to be a bit addicted to technology, and let's face it, it's very easy to access entertainment at a touch of the screen. But I noticed that kids struggle to just be a lot more, I think, today. And I'm not a psychologist, but it seems like they're connected.
Right.
But I think Addie's hit the nail on the head. There's a lot of expectations put on these kids that I don't think have ever been placed on youth before. And I don't know exactly if it's a lot of it is parents in some families, but I think we have almost like a contrast. In one situation, we might have this intense pressure, and then a lot of it might be driven by, we like to call this generation of parents helicopter parents, right? But I think there's just as many kids who have very little support, so there's a really wide divide somewhere in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And so I think we have a few different issues that are difficult to address simultaneously. And I think at Alive what we find is that, some of these high schools are very large. We tend to serve kids who will struggle a bit more to tap in or plug in to a specific club, or even, their own, kind of more of a clique. Some kids just struggle a bit more, and that's not true across the board. We serve all kinds of kids, leaders, and kids with such diverse interests. But as far as the kids who tend to come back daily, they find a family experience. And Addie, you work much more closely with the teens than I do, but would you say that's true?
I would say that's true. It's a place of belonging, and a place where they could just be themselves.
Yeah.
And it's supported. Yeah.
They tell us all the time that at school or in other places they feel a lot less free to just be themselves. And hats off to Addie. She creates a culture that just really encourages kids to feel good about being themselves. Art is a gift you have, and she finds a way to channel a lot of that. And I think the testimonials that we have directly from the kids, grade 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, especially when they're maybe not quite driving or maybe not have that opportunity to work. Those are those kids who come in every day that I think, if you can catch them at that moment before maybe they end up in a situation where they make a choice that they can't potentially benefit from very well, it makes all the difference to have a place where you can be yourself. And that's really what we're trying to provide, is that space so they can explore who they are in a, in a encouraging and supportive environment.
Right. And how have things been getting acclimated to the, the area? How's it, how is it working with, you guys work with elected officials and aldermen and all that?
Yes.
What's that like? Paint the picture. I have no idea.
No, that's a great
question. Wow.
No, yeah, I'll tell you. So it's really cool. So Alderman Bug has been very supportive.
Yes.
So thankful to him and
Thank you,
grateful
Alderman
for
Bug.
him. Yes. Simon Rodriguez from the Youth Services in Aurora.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Simon.
He's wonderful.
Shouts out.
Yes.
Amen. Yeah.
Barbara Hernandez, the representative, has met with us and shared our coming to Aurora. And
83rd District, shouts out.
Yes, and so just really grateful. I'm thinking of others. Just so thankful for the welcoming that we've had here to Aurora and to the downtown area.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been going, I believe, very well, and it's going to continue to grow. We've met with District 129, so we've had a meeting with the schools to, get our word out and that we're here in Aurora.
Yeah.
So
I've been overwhelmed by how welcoming everyone has been, from the Rotary to youth collaboration team to other organizations. It's been so warm, the welcome. Really, it's clear that many people agree that something like this is sorely needed for the youth in this community. And
I'm going to plant a flag in the conversation before I get on to the next question, but I do want to just concur with what you ladies are talking about, because all the people that you mentioned are friends of the show. So like Linda Kemp.
Yes, thank you, Linda.
And that
She
is
introduced us,
that is a friend of the show.
yeah.
Barb Hernandez, those are friends of the show. Many of those people, Simon, like I knew them and I worked with them and volunteered with them before Good Morning Aurora. So like they're not they got skin in the game.
Yes.
Like those are people actually trying to do things.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's so many more we didn't mention.
Yes.
Yeah. We still love you guys. We just
The community has been open arms.
We're
We are
so
really,
grateful.
really grateful.
Yeah. So let's talk about the town a little bit now. What's it? Where do you go to lunch at? You're on LaSalle Street. I mean, so it's 12 o'clock on a Tuesday, right? Kacie, what's up? Addie, what's up? Where's a good place to go for lunch?
Cali Lily. Cali Lily Victorian Tea Room. I hope I got the name right.
Yeah.
Cali Lily is so wonderful. I really, care for the owner. He's great. And the tea's there, the sandwiches there. They're so delicious. And the environment when you walk into their little shop is so cute. Yeah.
Very awesome. So that's LaSalle and Downer for those who are interested. Right across the street.
LaSalle and Benton.
Benton. That's right, Benton. Excuse me.
And
Right across the street from Durango. Yeah.
Yes, Durango's there as well. The smells from the taco place. I haven't had the pleasure of eating there yet, but it smells so good. And they also have a beautiful mural right on the side of Cali Lily of Aurora downtown. So if people haven't checked that place out, I would highly recommend they go because it's so cute.
Yeah, great place.
I second Addie. I thought the tea room is definitely the highest on my list at this point. I have
Yeah.
a lot more exploring to do. Keep in mind, we've only been open since February 1st, so we have a lot more lunches ahead, right, Addie?
Right.
Now, there are two things that we've been presenting in our news that the Alive Teen Center has going on. One of which, we've been talking about your calendar of events for this month. There was a March murder story time or something.
That's in Naperville. We will very soon get a Instagram for the Alive at Community location.
Okay, all right.
I'll share that information on our Facebook platform so that people can start to follow us there. We have, for this upcoming March, we have Among Us Day. So it's Among Us is a really fun gaming video game for teens on Android and iPhone and PC as well. But they have a really great time trying to figure out who the imposter is. It's kind of like a murder mystery game as well. So we'll be doing that in person with physical distancing and masks. They're going to be followed. And it's going to be really fun. So I'm excited for that.
Good.
That's in March.
Good. How can we, the community, help you?
Yeah, I think it's really helping us connect and inform families that we really are here free And we really do encourage, our hashtag is just show up. You know, there very rarely do you not have to register to participate in something, but that there's no registration required. And we really want to be here as a space that kids feel welcome to come as it fits for them.
Right.
You know, there really is, we are open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Okay.
After school from 2:45 to 6. Given the fact that we aren't, you know, in a normal academic school year, traditionally we may find ourselves in a lunchroom, you know, on a given day, handing out maybe bracelets and flyers and telling kids,
Right.
here we are, come see us. But of course that isn't possible today.
Right.
So we are, I think, a little bit still navigating the most direct way to try to really, you know, imagine how many, you know, opportunities are listed in a weekly newsletter from either 131 or 129, right?
Mm-hmm.
So many different things, wonderful opportunities to communicate. But so I think we, you know, we're still trying to find our way to get to the top of, you know, the list as far as what someone might read or observe. And it's going to take some time, but anything that you might encourage or, you know, help us to just do a better job of connecting directly with kids right now. You know,
Well,
we have two audiences, adults, of course, their parents,
Right.
but it's the kids who need to really be making that decision. And so we're not able to connect with them quite as easily as we might in a different time or place.
Okay.
I would also say, Curtis, through collaboration.
Absolutely.
So if there is any community member in Aurora or business or organization, what it may be, if they'd like to partner with me so that we could bring a new experience to our youth, whether it be
Absolutely.
through workshop, maybe you're a woodworker and you want to teach teens how to make something, or you knit. So I'd love to have the teens make their own plushies, whatever gift or talent an adult in our community has, I'd love to bring them in as volunteers to help our youth. And I will, of course, share that on our Facebook through an event and
Sure.
and spread the word some more that way too.
And we are a nonprofit, of course, so, you know, we're completely funded by the community. And so a partnership or a sponsorship will have several events as time progresses. So
Right.
we're always seeking financial support, of course, as well. That's how we stay alive.
Of course. Of course.
And I want to shout out, because this month as well, on the 19th, Coach Amy from Best in You Coaching, she partnered up with the Live Center, so she's the first of many partners that we'll have, and she's bringing a virtual workshop where teens can come in person, and she'll be streamed in on a TV, and she'll be teaching teens how to level up in life, so how to cope with stress, how to make decisions that are going to help them, how to increase motivation, and so that's the first of many. Yeah.
I can dig it. I like
Yes.
that. And that's
Level Up.
Amy from
Best in You Coaching.
Best in You Coaching.
Yes. And then in April, I'm trying to remember her last name. It's not Anna Martinez, it's Anna, or Amy. I can't remember, but she came on the podcast recently to talk about Anna's Sweet Treats. If I can't.
Anna Sierra.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah,
She's
yeah.
going to be partnering up with the Live Center in April, and she's going to be bringing in some fruit, and we're going to learn how to dip fruit and make delicious treats, also while talking and inspiring teens to start something new themselves and to learn about how to start a business, and yeah.
Well, now. See that?
Isn't that great?
Making connections right there. I'm telling you. Yeah.
Yes.
She's so she's a great person. So, you know, here's the other thing about when we were talking before the camera started rolling, right? Like, the other aspect of it, and trying to, like, make it to show and create something like, the other aspect of it was that, like, at that time, if we go back to COVID when it started, there was no positive news to be found. I mean, we were going through it was the beginning. So no matter where you read, no matter what you looked at, no matter what was on Facebook or scrolling in your scroll news feed, it was 100% negative. There was just no light to be found. For me as an individual, right, I was just trying to just add a little niceness, right? Just a little sunshine. I don't care what it was, as long as it was positive. Oh, the Aurora Noon Lions are handing out food with Ted Masiacos. Shout it out.
That's great.
Whatever, you know? So these are the kind of things that people should be doing, right? Like you should be showing kids how to sprinkle candy on a flower. Like you should be doing that, you know? Like the world needs more of that. We gotta know,
More
right?
fun,
yeah, just
more light, right?
yeah, seriously, just whatever it is, just put a spotlight on it.
Yeah.
More joy. Yeah.
And youth bring so much light themselves. You know,
Yeah.
it's inspiring to be around them.
Yep.
Addie mentioned our teen-led model. We have, you know, our foundation, our name comes from Howard Thurman, who was a philosopher in the late 60s. And I'm not going to be able to quote him perfectly, but basically he's most known for saying what the world needs is more people who come alive. And it's about really what makes you feel alive and do more of that.
Right.
Right.
You know, just keep it simple, and that's really what we're trying to do. It's not complicated.
It
This
really
is how
isn't.
you got to be sitting here right now, right?
Yeah,
Same
just
idea.
seriously, just
And kids are so self-conscious, right? And it's all about how other people see them at that age, and if you can just help them see that you're perfect just the way you are,
Right.
You know, that's really what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yes, and to tap into their skills and talents and tell them and encourage them to lead something.
Yeah.
So this Friday, actually, today, we have a teen
Yeah,
who's starting her own computer science club. And so she's going to be teaching teens how to code, work with robots, and just learn more about computer science. And that's her passion. That's what she wants to do when she's out of high school. And so, yeah, more
A
to
launch
come.
pad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But there are a lot of kids who come in just, not just, but for drop-in, right? So we have kind of two things happening. We have a safe, inclusive space for kids to just be themselves, and then we have this entrepreneurial leadership path that is really going to help them gain confidence in who they are and what they have to offer
Good.
themselves and others.
I want to pick up mentors. Okay, this conversation was great because I'm glad that we were able to highlight the importance of mentors in the lives of anyone,
Yeah.
particularly youth, in this discussion. So I'd like to know from you ladies, who was a mentor in your lives? And Kacie, we'll start with you.
Gosh, so many. I attended an all-girls Catholic college, and I had a nun who came into my life at the beginning of my sophomore year. She just taught me how to be much more present and helped me create a lot less buzz in my head. I tend to be a pretty cerebral person, do a lot of thinking.
Right.
And she really helped me figure out how to tap into more of the ability to just sit with that and see that as a gift. So not that different from what we're trying to teach others, but really helped me to learn how to be more calm and present as a person. And it was a gift to learn that young, you know, because I think it can be very excitable.
Good.
So she gave me a lot of insight.
Good. And Addie, for you?
Yeah. And I'm thinking about elementary school. In elementary school, I had trouble reading. I couldn't read, and I actually had to do first grade again. And I was so sad about it, and it was really hard at that age to have to go through that.
Right.
I had a tutor, her name was Mary Yu, and she would take me to the Paramount Theater so we could watch Lion King in person, so that was really cool. She also taught me how to better my reading. She was really impactful for me at that age when I was little. And then in university, Dr. Eva Serrano from AU, she was a really big mentor for me in my undergrad and in my master's, because that's who I had my graduate assistantship with. She was wonderful and always encouraged me to be courageous and be a leader and take on roles that I was uncomfortable with and a little nervous about because I felt shy. And so she really helped me to kind of step into being a powerful Latina woman. So,
Good.
yeah.
It's beautiful.
Good. There is what is it? So right downtown where you guys are at the opposite end of the street, so that would be Downer, okay? Where those apartments are, and there's that bank on the corner where you guys are. That building across the street, that oddly shaped building by the train tracks, have you seen it?
I think I know what you're talking about.
You know which one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to envision it.
Yeah, it's weird shaped. It literally at corners,
Yeah.
very
Okay.
slim.
I've definitely seen it.
Yeah, I had heard that was going to open up and be a candy store. Is there some danger of a candy store being that close to a teen center? Any worries about that?
No, it's a candy store.
We hope the candy store benefits.
In Naperville, we have a Rosati's around the corner, and the teens are buying pizza all the time.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
So-
Oh, yeah.
Also right next to a bakery, and it doesn't seem to be a bad thing for
That's
either
right.
of us either. So
Good.
right.
Yeah, good.
So yes, the food will be bought, the candy will be bought.
I
Right.
hope it benefits them.
So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 2:15 to 6 p.m.
Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 2:45
2:45 to 6 p.m. Okay. Currently, any weekend activities at all? Are those TBD?
TBD.
Okay.
No weekend activities at the moment, but we are going to be a part of First Fridays, so
Cool.
we'll be open. It's likely we'll be open a little bit later those days, so people can have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very cool. What are now? We do have an ending message, but I just kind of want to gather from you ladies because you're very motivational, and I like that. What does 2021 look like? Either of you can start. What's the outlook?
Growth comes to mind right away. So growth. Every day I'm falling more in love with growth, and I'm wanting more of that as well, personally, professionally, all of that. So 2021 looks a lot like growth, and that's my answer to that one.
It fits for what is happening at Alive as well. Not only here in Aurora, but we are talking to other communities. So expansion. I think we all are ready to maybe try something new. You know, we've been a bit, I don't know what the right word is, but not been able to really, fully realize all of the, normal kinds of things in life. I think
Yeah.
has made me feel like, we've been forced to maybe be more creative in how we spend some of our time. So I really enjoyed learning how to cook more vegetarian in the last year, really put an effort into trying to do something a little different at home. But
Oh, okay.
looking forward to just continuing to see life as more of an opportunity for something new or growth. I'm right there with you. I think we're all ready to kind of bust out and, why not, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. So I asked this question because I was asked this question last night, and I answered it myself. Ambition. Like, I feel like 2021 could just be
Yeah.
unbridled ambition for anybody, right? Like,
Yeah.
I do. I feel more optimistic.
Good.
I
feel
do.
that.
I feel
You
optimistic.
just have to spread it because that's all it takes, right? It's mindset.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Patty mentioned collaboration, and I just want to reiterate that is such a big part of what I've experienced in this past year working in a nonprofit setting, and I think we can all find examples, but we have seen it a tremendous effort to be more integrated as we support families, as we support kids. I think people are much more cognizant now that nonprofits need support. I think donations in general across the globe have increased. People are paying more attention to need, and that is a wonderful thing, right?
Yeah.
This collaboration that we continue to seek, I think, is happening so much more because of what we've been through together than I've seen in a long time, and that makes me optimistic.
You know what I think? To that point, I think that before the pandemic, I think people thought that, like, food pantries and all that, it's always there.
Right.
Like, I don't think that people understood that they got to get food, right? Like, it ain't just a tree that just replenishes. Like, no, food pantries can run out of food. They could potentially not have any food to serve anybody. I don't think the average person in America really understood that until they saw food pantries asking for donations so they could feed other people. So to your point, you're right. Like the wool has been lifted off the eyes of a lot of people as to the profit, or excuse me, as to the strength of nonprofits and other organizations. Definitely. So This is fun, right? This was a good. This was a good interview.
So you do a lot.
Yeah. This was fun. So the show ends on a positive note.
Good.
Okay. What is the message for the day, the weekend, and going into the rest of the year from you ladies for the Alive Teen Center?
Can we say just show up?
Yeah, I'm gonna hashtag that when I post this. Hashtag just show up.
We've been talking a lot about messaging as this week kind of came to our founder, Candace, shared hashtag our youth, our future. And I think that's it. Right? We just have to keep remembering that these kids are the future.
Right.
And we need to support them at this time in their lives. And they have challenges that no other group of kids in this age group have really ever, not only the pandemic, but we're all aware that mental health is something that kids today struggle with much more than previous generations. We can discuss, why that might be, lots of great reasons, but...
We'll make that a part 2.
Yeah, our youth, I think it would be a fascinating conversation, but...
Our youth, our future.
Our youth, our future.
Our youth, our future.
Yeah.
That is the hashtag, and that's the message.
Hashtag. Yeah.
All right.
Let's all get behind them.
Yep. Well, this was a great episode. I'm happy to have had the chance to sit down with you ladies and learn about the Live Teen Center and learn about each of you as individuals as well. Or both of you, excuse me. And yeah, I really hope that people continue to just, pay into the system. And the system is just society, right?
Yeah.
Just
You get a lot more from giving than you think.
Yeah, you do. And you guys opened up, I now have an office on Broadway, and you're very close to me.
Good.
How
Yeah.
exciting. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
We'll have to visit.
You guys are hot. I looked at your address one day. I was sitting I looked at the address, and it was like, that, Google Maps. You could just turn it. And I was like, dang, they're like right there.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, on behalf of Good Morning Aurora, we appreciate you ladies' time coming on to the show and telling us about the Alive Teen Center and yourselves and anything that we can do to help you out. If it's information that you need posted or shared, you got our email address, send it over, and we'll get it out there for you.
Thank you, Curtis.
Curtis, thank you for having us.
Yeah,
This
no
is really
problem.
a
Yeah, this
special
is
opportunity.
fun. Shout out to Linda Kemp
Linda.
and the
And-
Rotary Club.
Good on you for taking your passion, and it's clear that you
Got
are walking. You're the proof of our message right there.
Yep.
It's wonderful. Thank you for this chance to talk with you.
Not a problem. Trying to give, paying it forward. Trying to give it back. On behalf of our listeners, we want to say thank you once again. We appreciate it. All of you listeners and viewers out there, have a safe, blessed, positive weekend. And we'll see you guys back here Monday morning for another great episode. Peace.
That's so cool.